The Multnomah County Auditor's Office conducted a performance audit of Multnomah County Animal Services. This segment is part of our video report. You can find other segments of our report by visiting our website. In this video, we'll discuss that some animal services programs lack sufficient planning and measurement. We were motivated to explore the topic of planning and measurement because of feedback from staff. One animal services employee told us, "We need a real plan of action that is engineered and built and runs as designed. I'm tired of flying by the seat of your pants type management." One of animal services' strengths is their ability to generate innovative ideas to help animals in our community. However, many of these ideas included minimal planning or performance measurement. Many programs did not involve plans for employee training, sufficient budgeting, cost-benefit analysis, or development of long-term goals. We've identified a few programs that are well-intended and potentially doing well, but because they lacked goals, we cannot determine if they are successful. Two of the programs that exemplify the planning issues are the Lombard Adoption Center and Fasttracking. First, we'll start with the Lombard Adoption Center. In the summer of 2015, Animal Services opened a new adoption center in North Portland. 6 months later, Animal Services closed it. There were many positive aspects about the adoption center, such as attractive street front signage and a display window to showcase adoptable animals. However, poor planning ultimately led to its closure. Animal Services did not designate a specific project manager for the adoption center, and they only held 2 planning meetings for the management team. We applaud the new management's decision to close the Lombard Adoption Center. Next, we will discuss some issues that plague the project so that these issues may be avoided for any future adoption centers. Due to insufficient staffing, the Lombard Adoption Center was only open 3 days a week, so the animals were transported back and forth from the main shelter in Troutdale. Due to poor planning, Animal Services did not develop a staffing plan for the Lombard Adoption Center, so they decided to put the community outreach manager in charge of the adoption center. This was a poor utilization of his skills, and he lacked the animal handling background necessary to be successful in this role. They were also ill-prepared for a cat attack that occurred, which put a volunteer in the hospital for 3 days. The employee who was usually there had not been trained in how to respond to this kind of incident, and there was no safety equipment on site. According to our calculations, it cost Animal Services about $55 per animal adoption at its main shelter in Troutdale. In contrast, the Lombard Adoption Center cost Animal Services nearly 3 times as much per animal adoption. While Animal Services management had no way of knowing how many animals would be adopted at Lombard, they did have the ability to estimate their costs. Given that the adoption center was only open 3 days per week and had a limited number of cages, decision makers might have been able to guess that the cost per adoption at the Lombard location would be significantly higher than at the main shelter. Next, we'll discuss fast tracking. In the late summer of 2015, Animal Services introduced the fast tracking process, which is supported by the ASPCA. The goal of fast tracking is to get animals adopted more quickly in order to minimize the stress of being in a shelter. In order to do this, shelters put high-demand cats, such as kittens, at the front of the adoption area in highly visible cages. These cages are smaller and staff spend less time here since the cats will move quickly in and out of the shelter. Cats with less demand, such as those with chronic illness, are placed in the back of the adoption area. These cats take more time to find the right owner, so they need to be made comfortable during their longer stay. Their cages should be larger and staff should spend more time with them. Fast tracking is also a fundamental shift in how you operate and requires a shelter-wide commitment because it changes the intake process, when you schedule surgeries, and impacts the process flow of adoptions. Many organizations have had success with fast tracking. One example is the Placer SPCA, which had its length of stay decrease from 25 to 13 days. Also, 25% fewer cats needed medication because less time spent in a shelter means less exposure to illness. We have several concerns about the implementation of the Fasttracking program. We believe that they have not set up the cat adoption area in the best way. They kept the small cages in the back, which is where cats with longer stays belong, and put larger cages in the front, which is where fast-track cats should go. We also believe that they did not set aside enough time to plan or train staff. Management provided staff with one presentation about the concept and then had one more meeting with staff. Because fast-tracking is a fundamental shift in how you process animals, it requires significantly more planning and training. Another concern we have is that during the month of December, they decided to stop doing the fast-tracking program because they were running a price promotion. We believe that the price promotion and fast-tracking are compatible. Fast-tracking should be a full-time commitment. Our final concern is that Animal Services Management needs to set goals for fast-tracking. If they don't set realistic goals, they will not be able to measure if fast-tracking has been successful. For all future projects, we recommend that management should prepare planning documents that include clear and specific project mission that fits into larger strategic goals, sufficient and appropriate staffing, staff training, realistic and measurable goals, and a cost-benefit analysis. Thank you for viewing this segment. You can find other segments of our report by visiting our website.